In March 2008, Memphis, Tennessee was rocked by a crime so heinous it sent shockwaves through the city and beyond. The Leicester Street Massacre, as it came to be known, left 6 adults and 2 children brutally murdered in a quiet neighborhood home. What started as a routine call for help quickly unraveled into a scene of unimaginable horror, thrusting detectives into a desperate search for answers. Join us as we delve into the chilling details of this tragic event, exploring the twists and turns of a case that shook a community to its core. Your engagement means the world to us. If you find this content informative or thought provoking, a simple gesture like leaving a like, subscribing, or commenting goes a long way in supporting our channel and helping us reach more people. And remember, it's completely free and you can always undo it if you wish. Thank you for watching, and let's dive into the video. March 2nd, 2008, Memphis, Tennessee, 6 p.m. The city is shrouded in a heavy blanket of rain, and police respond to a 911 call reporting a house fire at 722 Leicester Street, a modest one-story home in the Binghamton neighborhood of Memphis. What they actually discovered inside would haunt their memories for years to come.
The police. I went to try to see my son. My kid's father, the door's wide open. They're not giving no answer. Help someone out, okay?
Sergeant Tony Mullins of the Memphis Homicide Unit, with 4 years of experience under his belt, receives the initial notification: 6 bodies at a homicide scene on Leicester Street, with more children at the hospital. As he drives to the scene, the abrupt shift in weather from sunny and 70 degrees to harsh and cold strikes him as an ominous backdrop to the unfolding tragedy. Outside the yellow crime scene tape, a crowd of neighbors and onlookers gathers, eager for any glimpse of the unfolding events on Leicester Street. Lieutenant Armstrong and Sergeant Mullins arrive at the scene, deciding that only they two will enter for the time being to preserve the integrity of the crime scene until proper precautions are taken. With 19 years of experience with the Memphis Police Department, Lieutenant Armstrong commands authority and experience. Officer Rick Davidson, a rookie for the Memphis Homicide Department, will coordinate the case. He reiterates to Lieutenant Armstrong and Sergeant Mullins the grim details: 6 bodies inside, with 3 children found alive but injured and taken to the hospital, all discovered in one of the bedrooms. One of the children is an infant. Donning their white plastic crime scene jumpsuits, Davidson, Mullins, and Armstrong step into the home, immediately struck by the stark reality of the crime scene in front of them. In the living room lie the first victims, 4 adults shot multiple times. There is an eerie absence of sign of struggle, prompting Lieutenant Armstrong to remark to Davidson and Mullins that it seems as though the perpetrator was welcomed in. Among the victims are 30-year-old Cecil Dotson, his 27-year-old girlfriend Marissa Williams, the mother of his 4 children, and their friends, 33-year-old Hollis Seals and 25-year-old Shindri Robertson. The detectives take notes of the blood in the bathroom, with its unsettling presence in the toilet and bathtub marking it as another area of interest in the chaotic crime scene. Throughout the house, blood splatter is evident, painting a grim picture of the violence that transpired. In the back rooms, they discover 2 of Cecil's young sons, 4-year-old Samario and 2-year-old Cecil Dotson, adding to the heart-wrenching toll of the tragedy. Efficiently, they capture all the crime scene photos they can, understanding the urgency of documenting the evidence promptly. Soon, the forensic team arrives to meticulously process the crime scene for potential clues. Among the items noted is a plastic bag in the living room sofa containing collected shell casings, alongside a 12-gauge shotgun untouched next to Cecil Dotson's body. Speculation arises about the shotgun, with Davidson pondering whether Cecil was killed while reaching for it. Broken knife blades and handles, as well as pieces of wood possibly used as weapons, are discovered throughout the house, each one a potential piece of the puzzle. The condition of the body suggests that they have been deceased for 24 to 48 hours, a chilling realization for the investigators. Lieutenant Mullins reflects on the unusually high body count, particularly shaken by the involvement of children, innocents caught in the crossfire. Officer Davidson grapples with the surreal nature of the scene, His tenure as a homicide detective marked by this unprecedented level of violence. Meanwhile, the rest of the crime scene crew brave the freezing rain to collect the victims, their solemn task and a somber reminder of the lives lost. Gathering in a police vehicle at the crime scene, detectives discuss their initial impressions. Officer Mullins surmises that Cecil was likely the primary target, with the other murders serving as means to eliminate witnesses. Officer Armstrong reinforces the notion that the perpetrator was welcomed into the home, a disturbing realization of the trust violated in such a heinous act.
The wind whipping through Leicester Street whips through the unthinkable. 2 men, 2 women, and 2 young boys, all killed in one house. 3 other children seriously hurt. No sign of a break-in, and police are begging for help from the public.
As news of the massacre spreads across Memphis throughout various media outlets, the city is gripped by shock and horror. Back at the homicide department, the team receives updates on the children's condition at the hospital, each report detailing the extent of their injuries. The detectives speculate on the timeline of events, grappling with the grim possibility that the children laid injured for an extended period of time before being discovered. As morning breaks, the exhaustion weighs heavily on everyone involved in the case, with Officer Davidson admitting to a mere 2 hours of restless sleep, haunted by the haunting images of the previous night. Lieutenant Armstrong wastes no time in rallying the team together for a brainstorming session to propel the investigation forward. Addressing the gravity of the situation, he underscores that this incident ranks among the highest mass murders in Tennessee's history at the time. The grim facts are clear. Adults were shot while the children suffered stab wounds and blunt force trauma, a chilling detail that sets this particular case apart. Lieutenant Mullins ventures a speculation suggesting that the involvement of at least 3, perhaps 4 suspects. His reasoning stems from the discovery of 2 distinct types of bullet shells, 0.38 and a 9mm, hinting at the use of multiple firearms. With a sense of urgency, Lieutenant Armstrong emphasizes the need for collaboration, affirming that rank holds no sway in this investigation. Every idea, every piece of information is crucial in moving forward. Sergeant Bill Ashton proposes a forensic avenue, suggesting a thorough examination of the knives for epithelial DNA, potentially yielding a valuable clue about the suspect's identity. Sergeant David Parks is tasked with transporting the physical evidence to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, understanding the immense pressure mounting on the department as public scrutiny intensifies. Meanwhile, back at the homicide department, a potential breakthrough emerges. A teenage girl, a member of Cecil Dotson's extended family, comes forward with crucial information. Though she wasn't present during the altercation, she reveals conversations within the household about a planned robbery involving Cecil and his brother Jesse, also known as Junior. Allegations surfaced that Jesse had recently committed a robbery, acquiring a cache of firearms, adding a layer of motive to this perplexing crime. As detectives delve into Jesse's criminal history, the pieces of the puzzle begin to coalesce, shedding light on the events leading up to the tragic massacre on Leicester Street. 15 hours after detectives first arrived at the crime scene, Cecil's brother Jesse is brought in for questioning at the Memphis Homicide Department. During the interview, Jesse divulges that Cecil was involved with the Gangster Disciples gang and had been embroiled in a feud with another known gang member known as Doc Holliday. However, Jesse maintains that he himself has no personal conflicts with Doc Holliday. Sergeant Joe Stark, leading the questioning, acknowledges the severity of gang activity in Memphis, but expresses skepticism about how it could escalate to such a personal massacre. Lieutenant Armstrong challenges the theory, questioning whether the feud with Doc Holliday could explain the targeting of the entire Dodson family, suggesting that such a level of violence seems completely disproportionate. With no solid lead, the team sifts through records to identify the elusive Doc Holliday among the 25 individuals with that name booked in Memphis. Meanwhile, Officer Rick Davidson takes the opportunity to check on the status of the injured children at the hospital, hoping for any leads that they may provide. An update on the children's health offers a glimmer of hope, with doctors indicating that they are all expected to survive, with the 9-year-old showing signs of being the first to communicate about the events of that night. Sergeant Caroline Manson emphasizes the importance of preserving the integrity of the children's testimonies, recognizing their potential to provide crucial information. She underscores the need to shield them from external influences, ensuring their safety from potential threats posed by the perpetrator. After hours of interviewing the hospitalized 9-year-old victim, Mason and Stark return to Memphis homicide. Mason notes the boy's swollen eyes, indicating his distress when asked about his recollections. The boy recounts being in the living room when someone knocked at the door, claiming his mother let them in. During the interview, the boy's heart rate spikes as he tearfully recalls a chaotic scene in the living room. His panic is evident as he struggles to articulate the events. Lieutenant Armstrong recognizes the emotional toll on the child and decides to postpone further interviews until he has recovered sufficiently. The following morning brings a breakthrough as Lieutenant Armstrong receives a call from Doc Holliday, the alleged gangster disciples leader implicated in the feud with Cecil Dotson, inviting Holliday to the office for a discussion. Armstrong and Davidson lead the questioning. Despite Holliday's denial of a gang affiliation, Armstrong presents evidence suggesting otherwise. However, the interview yields no substantial evidence linking Holliday to the murder, leaving the team with hearsay and no concrete evidence. With the investigation at a standstill, the desperation mounting, the team decides to offer a $30,000 reward for tips leading to a resolution. 2 days of relentless work have brought them no closer to uncovering the truth behind the Leicester Street Massacre. Following the influx of tips, including a range from gossip to purported psychic insights, one tip stands out: a man claiming to be a friend of Cecil Dotson. According to the alleged witness, Cecil confided his fears of being followed and expressed concerns about owing a significant debt to the mafia or a gang organization, totaling $300,000. However, doubts arise during the team's discussion as the witness fails to provide crucial details and cannot name significant individuals involved. Lieutenant Armstrong casts suspicion on the credibility of the testimony, citing Cecil's impoverished living conditions as an incongruent with how someone owning such a large sum. With no concrete lead, the team persists in exploring potential connections to gangster disciples' activity, entering the third day of the investigation. Sergeant Rick Davis scouring the Memphis Police Department system for insights into the gangster disciples' culture. During an interview with a former gangster disciples member, they learn about disciplinary measures within the gang. Ignoring a call for a meeting, as Cecil allegedly did, could result in a death violation or even a blackout, a targeted killing of all connected family members. Shocked by the implications, Memphis Homicide rushes to protect Cecil's living relatives, severing all outside communication to ensure their safety. As the investigation intensifies, the team grapples with the ominous possibility of a gang-ordered blackout, recognizing the gravity of the situation and the urgent need to safeguard Cecil's family from the potential retaliation.
6 people, including 2 children, all murdered in this house on Leicester. Priscilla Shaw, the mother of the man who rented the house, found out when a relative told her.
I'm lost. It's my baby and my grandbabies. They all gone for what? And I don't know why. I don't know.
And neither do police. Relatives say they can't imagine why anyone would do this. Police have no suspects and no motive.
Following Cecil Dotson's sister's distressing call reporting a potential stalking and threat, Memphis Homicide mobilizes swiftly to protect the remaining Dotson family members. An extensive operation, including SWAT teams and helicopters, is launched to secure the sister's apartment, fearing the possibility of a threat or even another crime. At this time, Cecil Dotson's sister was receiving phone calls from her own apartment after the family had fled. With caution, police approached the apartment, silently opening the door with a key provided by Cecil's sister. Inside, they conduct a thorough search, methodically checking every room for signs of intrusion or danger. Fortunately, the apartment is cleared of suspects and evidence, easing immediate concerns, but leaving the community on edge.
Memphis police swarmed the apartment complex where family members of one of the people murdered in the Leicester Street Massacre live. Here's why. The sister of Cecil Dotson got a call from her apartment. But no one was supposed to be in her apartment. Everyone was taken into protective custody. Security is also tied at Le Bonheur. 3 children that survived the massacre are at Le Bonheur in protective custody.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Caroline Mason and Joe Stark head to the hospital, hopeful that the 9-year-old Cecil Dotson Jr. has recovered enough to provide crucial information about the Leicester Street event.
You don't have anything to worry about. So you said you got stabbed in the chest? And who did?
The audio recording of the interview with Cecil becomes a pivotal piece of evidence as the boy implicates his father's brother, Jesse Dotson, known as Uncle Jr., as the perpetrator. The revelation shocks the team, particularly as Jesse has been under protective custody without delay. They order Jesse to be brought in for further questioning, recognizing the urgent need to delve deeper into this unexpected turn of events. With the addition of new evidence, including a Crime Stoppers phone tip implicating Jesse, also known as Uncle Jr., the team gears up for intense questioning. There are rumors circulating that Cecil may have implicated Jesse in his previous murder charge, possibly sparking a feud between the brothers. Armed with this information, the plan is to interrogate Jesse rigorously.
Everybody in your family call you Junior.
Yeah.
Everybody in your family call you Junior.
You got stabbed in the chest? And who did?
What they say?
Junior.
Junior. What did you just tell me your family said?
They know me by Junior.
By Junior. What did that little boy just get through saying?
Junior.
Junior. That's what that little boy just got through saying. Junior. That's what the he said. He didn't mix it up. But you up and you left somebody alive in that house. You left somebody alive that can identify your ass. A child called your name. Junior. I'm listening. I'm listening.
We was out riding. We got to argue. We argued all the way to the house. When we got out, when we went in the house, he was still shooting off. When he reached behind the couch and got the 12 gauge, I just started shooting.
How many times you shoot? What about the women? What you do to them?
I didn't do nothing to the women.
Didn't you shoot the women?
Yeah,
Then what happened?
the kids saw me.
Then what happened?
I tried to get rid of the kid.
Let me say to fellow Memphians, we can all rest a little easier today. I'm pleased to announce that an arrest has been made in connection with the horrific murders at 722 Leicester. Jesse L. Dotson, age 33, the brother of Cecil Dotson, is responsible for these acts. Jesse Dotson was present at 722 Leicester in the early morning hours of Sunday, March 2nd, when he became involved in an altercation with his brother Cecil. During the argument, Jesse shot Cecil and proceeded to cover up the crime by brutally assaulting 8 more people. This is a tragic case of homicide between 2 brothers. Jesse Dotson then committed the additional acts of violence in an effort to cover up the initial homicide. All the adult victims were shot multiple times, and the children were stabbed and some suffered blunt force trauma. The adults were all found in the living room, and the children were found in the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. It is our belief that when Jesse left the home, he thought everyone in the home was dead. But as we all know, and by the grace of God, 3 children survived.
Verdict form for count 1 of the indictment reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree of Cecil Dotson Sr. as charged in the first count of the indictment.
Convicted murderer Jesse Dotson was not in court today as lawyers representing him made arguments in front of the state Supreme Court.
Jesse Dotson versus State of Tennessee.
When people are sentenced to death, it begins a long and expensive process called post-conviction relief. Dotson's lawyers, who specialize in the process, have an issue with an earlier decision denying him funding for a mental health evaluation.
In my experience in capital cases, this was unheard of that we were denied expert assistance.
As of today, the Leicester Street Massacre case has reached a resolution with the apprehension and conviction of the perpetrator, Jesse Uncle Jr. Dotson. After intense investigation and interrogation, Dotson confessed to the brutal murders of 6 adults and 2 children, shedding light on the tragic events that unfolded on that fateful night in 2008. With the perpetrator brought to justice, the case stands as a somber reminder of the enduring impact of violent crime on communities, while also serving as a testament to the relentless pursuit of truth and justice by law enforcement officials.